Getting a signal. Yeah, perfect. Go ahead, mute it.
Or the middle name? No, no middle name. All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Jerry, you want to do a roll call?
Here.
Absent excuse.
Jim C.
Here.
Billy Spinover. Here. Michael Cabinet.
Or the middle name? No.
Chanel McKinley.
All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Jerry, you want to do a roll call?
Timothy O'Connor.
Oh, wait.
Here.
Here.
We'll move on to consent agenda. Absent excuse.
Jim C.
Here.
Second side, Jeff.
Um,
Spinover. Here.
Okay, something's wrong here.
Ladies, accept this consent agenda.
Chanel
Agree with that? Yeah.
McKinley. Timothy O'Connor.
Oh, wait.
Move on to consent agenda. Want to speak on the phone or any audience?
Second side, Jeff. Spinover.
Okay, something's wrong here.
You want to speak for that?
What? Mute the speakers. Oh, wait. Help. Help me. What you doing? All right, sir. I don't know what happened. They're talking and it's delayed for them coming back out.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did.
Yeah, sorry, I'll have it here in just a second.
They're talking and it's delayed. I don't know what I did.
Sorry, I'll have it here in
There's aliens in the computer. Will be exercise.
It's either that or grandma.
Okay,
Something.
and then just bring your Zoom in back up.
public, we'll move on to resolution. If we can pick them up later. Yeah. Okay, we'll move on. Reports from city officials. Mayor's been busy. Budget meetings here, budget meetings at the school. Potential employees. Finance help, we can hire a couple. Moving forward with that, it's been pretty busy. Okay, administrator.
So, as Mayor said, we've been doing some interviews the last couple of days. We've made 4 job offers, 3 yesterday and 1 today. And 3 of those folks have accepted positions. So we made a job offer yesterday for the treasurer position. Still waiting to hear back from him. Ready to accept the offer, but we hired a new city clerk yesterday. She'll be coming in and working part-time, starting immediately, but she's under teaching contract until June 1st. So June 1st is likely the earliest she'll be available full-time. Michelle Dahlstrom, now Mays, is coming back for a few months to spend time with her daughter. Asked for work, so she's a perfect plug-in to the billing clerk position with her experience and knowledge. So I offered her that job for August. She'll be back in May, and we'll be there till about August. And so she'll spend 2 or 3 months in the billing clerk position. Today, the mayor and I interviewed Ellie Clark, or Ellie Black. She has a degree in recreation management. And so my long-term goal is to put her into the recreation director position. But we're getting her to start working part-time immediately. And so we hired her for the part-time recreation assistant. Goal will be that everything looks good for her and it looks good for us. August or September, we'll put her in the full-time director's position, moving towards Victoria's retirement. I'm very happy those are some key staff positions that we've been worrying about. And it turns out that our new recreation hire has operated as both a lifeguard and pool manager in the past. And so it'll be a good fit in the transition department, including both recreation and the aquatic center this year. So we still have a lot of positions open, particularly the pool and the police department are the 2 biggest. Just I think in staff meeting Tuesday, Jessica shared that likely the pool will go to very short hours in mid-May. And she'll be down to just her as an employee. But she won't. All 3 of her full-time lifeguards will be on that. The lifeguard swim coach's last day is tomorrow. We'll be gone. We have a full-time lifeguard 2, lifeguard 3 is leaving June, I think, May or June. Other full-time lifeguards coming in moving at the same time. So we'll be down to minimal staffing. Unless we get some staff hired in, it's likely that we will go to early morning to about 12:30 p.m. each day. Pretty difficult for a single lifeguard to watch over. So lap swims and fitness center open for hours will be Jessica. Gets distracted to be able to open for open swims. Police department again was the other one. We had plans to hire a temporary police officer who has a lot of years' experience and looked like a good fit. He was gonna come up and work for 5 or 6 months to see if he would like to do it. Back injuries. It's down suspect. So he's been told by his doctors that he can't return. So the temporary police officer is not coming. So we have, there's still one full-time police officer position, and a full-time sergeant position. So, the applicants. We yesterday afternoon discussed raises the police officer positions, which will be easier to recruit. Generally, RJ and I are talking about some other options for getting police officers. Not preferred options, but talk to some officers about doing who requested to do 2 on and 2 off. I don't like it as a permanent solution. RJ and I have been talking about looking at that as a temporary solution. 1 year higher. See how we'll have half the year covered. Half the year we'll have additional police coverage, which puts us a half year ahead of where we're at now. So we'll see how that works out, or if we find a good hire, or there are other options.
Can I ask a quick question on that?
Mhm.
That scheduling is that just like one person, or is that like is that thing you're running into like a lot? I guess this week, if you're running into a lot that request that different schedule?
Well, there's several departments in Alaska that have gone to 2 on, 2 off. And they're kind of split. So you can either do 2 on, 2 off, you can do 5/8, you can do 4/10s. But these are the bigger departments, and they're stealing a lot of the good applicants that basically want to come in, work for 2 weeks, and then they leave for 2 weeks. So they're not really vested in the community.
Oh, I
But these departments are actually supplying housing and airfare as well. So I know 2 people that live in Texas, and they fly every 2 weeks, they go up to Nome. And then they do their 2 weeks, they go back down to Texas. I don't personally like that. I want somebody that's going to be invested in the community. But like, Brian was saying, that I mean, if we, as a trial basis, if I have somebody here for 2 weeks and they're gone for 2 weeks, it's better than having nobody here for 4 weeks. Just to get a little bit of help, because we are starting to see increases, call volume and whatnot as we progress towards summer.
Yeah.
And that's only going to continue to increase.
And it's not just us. I mean, every single department in the state is down 1/4%. Some are down 50%. So, it's twofold. I mean, a lot of people don't want to get into this line of work for various different reasons. And I'm very picky, and I'm not going to just pick somebody just because they put an application in. If they don't meet my standards, then I'm not going to hire them.
The last staffing issue is our EMS director is on extended medical worker leave. So, currently we don't expect her back in July 1st. Si's been doing a great job along with Sandy up there in the EMS office, keeping things running, keeping volunteers going. So appreciate that help a lot. Been doing a good job up there, so that's very appreciated. Other than that, we're marching on staffing issues. I have 2 other quick things. The first is the school district has requested, they're working on a grant for their biomass boiler over there. And the way the USDA rules are, either we have to be the signatory on the grant, or we have to give them authorization to sign the grant. The easiest solution is to do a resolution granting them authorization for the specific project. It does take a resolution, so I'm kind of looking for council's permission, prepare to bring a resolution back at the meeting on the 21st, or if you want us to take a different direction. objection to the resolution. Putting that back in schools.
Take care of it, we can make documents and stuff that way instead of us.
Okay. I will prepare a resolution for the next council meeting and bring that back. The last thing that I've got is Steve Silver tells me, and I think Sherry Klein told me the same thing, Senator Mikowski, it looks like the waterfall event is on this year. It's not been held the last couple of years because of COVID. And so it's likely, or Senator Mikowski's plans at this point are to be at the waterfall event. In years past, we've always tried to invite her into town for some discussion. And he suggested that I reach out to Sherry Klein and schedule that, and it would be helpful if I have direct instructions from the council to invite Senator Mikowski to town. So coming from the council and mayor is a bigger push.
Right, Senator Mikowski.
Invite Senator Mikowski, correct. Any objection to that? All right, and I will let Sherry know that the council fully supports inviting Senator McCaskey. Correct. That's all I have. I'm happy to answer questions.
Moving on to the treasurer.
She's actually excused tonight. There's a written report in the council package.
Audit manager.
Jessica is also absent, excused tonight. The baby shower for her next grandchild. Baby shower for McKenna. She's not something written report, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to.
City clerk. Trinity. Good job.
Yes,
City planner, how about Sam? What you got to say, Sam?
I've submitted a written report and it is documented in the packet, so I don't think anything else is developed.
It's a nice report. The questions aren't for you in the report, but they're gonna be mostly comments and directed at Ronnie and maybe the rest of the council, but I'm really upset that CPA has put this wrench in this project. I think that this is ridiculous. They were well aware of what was going on for the last several years. Mike has been on the board, and I've been on the board, and for them to come in and stuff us at the last minute, so now we're out of this big money that's available right now. I mean, we just got quashed.
Shared that frustration with Colonel Bill, and deputy, and your tribal liaison for.
I mean, basically, the state did their own assessment on the title and said it wasn't going to bother them. It's like, that harbor is not going to bother 99% of the herring, or actually more than that probably, because very seldom do they ever even spawn on that little bit of kelp that runs between the buoy and the point. It's very seldom. They do on the other side, but you don't see anybody picking kelp on this side because there's too much current there. I mean, I've been here a long time now, and I've never seen anybody picking kelp there. I mean, in the old days, it was different, but yeah, this is pretty devastating. Just to be honest, everybody knows the only reason I ran for council is because of this event, wanting to see that it got accomplished, and now it's like, I don't know when the next time is going to be that you're going to have a chance to get this kind of money.
It's a big push.
Especially when they don't have the money to even start their share of, I had no idea that was until I read this report today. They don't have the money to start doing the assessment even. So this has just got,
I'm told by Steve Silver and a couple of staffers at Senator Murkowski's office that money is secured. So the $453,000 is very close.
you know, to get the study
To get the
started,
study started in the
but it's still gonna take a year.
Still will take at least a year. Originally, the Corps told us 2 years. Colonel Bill Rosa and folks with him said a year was the most likely outcome.
I mean, they should be able to get all the information they need from the state. This is one of the major fisheries of this type of, and they spend a lot of time flying around here and counting miles and documenting stuff. This study should not take if they're willing to use some, what's good information. The state has good information on this fishery.
I'll make that clear to Colonel Bill Rosa and strongly suggest that they look to the state to provide that. Hopefully speak.
There was an article this morning in Keskin paper about they're already observing the herring out here, documenting everything that they do every year. How many miles they check the beach line from up at Warm Chuck all the way around to Bay. Like they do every year. And it's like you said, it's well documented. I don't see where there should be a problem if Fish and Game wanted to weigh into this. And bring their evidence forward, they could probably squash it pretty fast, but it's up to them.
I think it's very appropriate.
There's something we could bring forth to Fish and Game, like a call some people, see what we can find out.
And I'll also add, Jim, that both the Corps and staffers tell us that we're still highly likely to get the construction funding, operation money study. But I acknowledge the fact that big pot of money is now.
Right, it's just like anything else, shovel ready. We were shovel ready, the infrastructure bill was there. And that money, this, we've been rocking and rolling this fall. And now
It's an active assessment.
it's not like right, blow away, that's fine. And it was a good report. Thank you for writing it. Well written and impressed.
Thank you.
Job.
EMS coordinator.
I submitted a written report. Feel free to ask me any questions. The only thing I did forget to add is I'll be going to Anchorage for the emergency preparedness conference on April 18th to the 23rd. So I'll be going to Sandy will be here in town covering during the business hours.
Michael Fish.
No,
You should say it.
maybe when Ken is around.
Like that ice now, you're too late. Hey, Harbor Master.
Mr. Mayor, I've submitted a written report, but happy to answer any questions. I just add to the report that I have hired a billing clerk and she started Monday. And we were able to bring in the previous, or Michelle Dahlstrom Mays, to train her. And so she's gotten a good week of training under her belt. So, and then with Michelle working for the city here in May to August, there'll be any future questions, she'll be able to talk to Michelle about that. So we're real happy about that.
Could you understand Michelle when you got here?
What's that?
Could you understand? She kind of has that twang for being a hillbilly.
That is conducive to that as now the car.
And we may need a translator for a while for our new recreation employee, who has a strong Georgia bent to her speech.
Yeah, her, Michelle could talk. All right. Discussion for Hans. Library.
Trish is out of town for the next week or week and a half, based on some personal issues. But she submitted a written report and questions.
I just had the one question I mentioned earlier about age limits.
And we're not, yeah,
And again, when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
If you can follow up with it.
Police chief, Mr. RJ.
Submitted a report, as Brian said, we did lose our summer seasonal, that was gonna come up here. So it was kind of a blow, but we'll manage. EMS is Sandy and Si are currently, they put on an AED, first aid, CPR, got all my dispatchers recertified, back up and running, and then it's coming Monday. Myself and the other officers will get our recertifications as well. So that makes it really nice that we have somebody in-house that can do that, especially work with my scheduling that I have. Newest dispatcher, I'm hoping I can sign him off in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be a kind of a really crash condensed course. And he won't be certified to do everything inside the dispatch center, but I'm losing McKenna fairly quick. So I don't have any other cops that I can pull from the street to fill in the dispatch center. So modifying that, and then when I get McKenna back, then I can get him certified on the other stuff inside the dispatch center. So just trying to make everything work with the staffing that I have. Plus, that's going to drop me down to one DMV agent for 3 months. But we've got a schedule worked out. We shouldn't see anything different than what we're already doing. The drop-off service that we normally offer Monday through Friday has been reduced to Mondays and Tuesdays and half a day on Thursday. And the reason that we had to do that is because too many people were dropping their stuff off incomplete, wrong forms, wrong amount of payment, and it was doubling, tripling the DMV staff's time to reach out to these people. So now, in order to do the drop off, basically a DMV agent has to look at it, verify it, make sure everything's right. It streamlines the whole process and everything works a whole lot better. Travis is picking up a lot of CDL road examinations. I know there's been a new twist with people that want to get a new CDL and their state requires this 40-hour training thing, which I think is stupid and asinine, but people are still in very, very high demand for that particular test. And also I mentioned, I spoke with Brian and also the mayor about getting one of my staff members certified to do the motorcycle exams like we used to do. Because I've gotten a lot of people, and I got people from Ketchikan, Wrangell, Petersburg, Sitka, that are willing to travel all the way down here to take this particular test. And right now, the only place in Southeast Alaska to take this motorcycle, if you want to get your motorcycle endorsement, you have to go to June. It's a long ways to travel, and then if you don't have a bike, you can't really do the test. And the state only offers this particular certification one time a year, and it's in June. So if I'm going to get somebody up there, it shouldn't cost the city hardly any amount of money, just because we've got so many airline miles. And that's usually where the cost really picks up. And this is a one-day class, so I'll probably spend more in wages than I would on travel than anything else. But I'll get with Brian next week, get that finalized, and I'll have to commit or not fairly quick. Other than that, I mean, our numbers are starting to increase. We're already higher than we were last year at this time for arrests. So even though there's just 3 of us, we're out there doing the best we can and trying to catch as many people as we can. And one of my officers was on his day off, and we have the take-home vehicle program. We're required to keep all of our gear, everything else, and you come around the corner, you got a DUI. So I mean, it does pay off, especially when we're short-handed. The more cars that we have driving around, the more eyes that we have out there, the better we're going to be. So we'll just keep plugging away. Hopefully, I can find some decent people. So.
We did bring it up to Stedman and those guys up there about what to charge for them.
For the fees? Yeah.
And they were seriously looking into it, so hopefully we hear something back on that, but we
personally, I think it's a great service that the city provides for
It
this
is,
island,
we should be
but we
confident.
should be able to at least break even out of it. I don't think that's asking too much.
And that's, they didn't think so either. They just said, well, bring it up. They were looking into it, so.
Understood, especially as his staff working on his comments when we met with him, was that it had not been changed in too long to begin with.
Yeah, and then I know that there was supposed to be an additional $4 million that was gonna be allocated into contract jail funding. As of this morning, somebody got heavy-handed and said, well, $4 million is too much, they're only gonna give out $2 million. So that pot is shrinking too, but I mean, even if I get $1,000 more, it just benefits the city every time I can get it.
The Governor's office estimated that the $4 million appropriation would be in line for about $150,000. So
But yeah, they took
we
about
have
4
that.
to 2.
Okay,
Yeah,
So we still get 75, we're still doing.
I was gonna say,
Not too bad.
$5 grand, 10 grand is way better. I mean, the amount of money that I can spend in, and you would think with COVID that, you know, kick people out of jail. I mean, we just started into the fourth quarter for this fiscal year budget, and I went over 2 months ago on what I allocated for jail food, and that's, you know, $18,000. That's a lot of TV dinner.
Peanut butter jelly, maybe cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah,
That's why I went to PD dinner.
Yeah. Well, even like, Kodiak jail, 3 years ago, their brand new chief, him and I were talking, and he was like, you do what? And I told him, and now Kodiak does TV dinners.
You get
It's the only way to go.
you get the calories that are required,
And it's sealed.
and it's got a dessert in it, and it's like, and then you give them an apple and an ice cream, and the
Well,
calories
the-
add up, and
The ice cream is only if they are good, because
Yeah.
if they're not good, I'm still over my calorie count. Like Jen is saying, I have to meet a specific calorie count for each inmate per day.
Jesus calories too, right? Jesus
Yes.
calories.
I just had one comment, and throughout the years I've been on the council, I've been you've done an excellent job of always shifting things around to make, you're very creative with always making it work. And, you know, I've just been very impressed over the years and how you can, we'll have this guy over here and then here over there, very forward thinking, and I've been impressed with it. Yeah, but I mean, he's had a lot of, and not your fault, but he's had a lot of this and that, and you've been able to, well, this guy's at trainings and we'll do this, and
You have to be fluid. I mean, I can have plans for the next 6 weeks, and I can guarantee you that following before I get home, I'm gonna phone call and it's all gonna change.
yeah, but so you can do it, you know how to. you know, do it.
Yeah, September will be 31 years.
Yeah.
Like, we have fun.
Oh, yeah. No. It does.
Any more questions for the chief? Public Works.
Russell's excused tonight, unless he's called in. Did you, are you on the phone, Russell? All right, didn't say no. So. I did not submit a written report. I do want to add one item, this new DOT requirement for CDL licensing. Not only does it make it more difficult for us to provide that service, but a brand new garbage truck driver can't drive the garbage truck. So it gets the CDL, he's caught it as a requirement, so we're likely gonna have to spend an extra $5,500 or so. Send him up, you know.
I heard there was potential talk about having an instructor come down and use the Votech Center, but I haven't had a chance to follow up to confirm on that. And I mentioned it to Russell.
That, but yeah, so that, we're gonna have to do that before we can get our garbage truck driver that.
Like Walmart today, and I'm sure taking the drivers 100,000 a year now.
what's amazing is that originally the federal government said they were gonna lessen, make be able to do less work at your CDL because they needed truck drivers. Is this a state thing or is this the federal one?
It's federal and state, But,
Yeah,
but
Mainly
well,
the
actually,
federal influence from what I.
but the state is requiring more hours, the state of Alaska is requiring more of this training hours. You could have had a class B license for 20 years. If you want to go to a class A now, you cannot do it unless you go to 40 hours of training. I mean, what are they gonna teach you, I mean, you know, death by PowerPoint that you haven't already learned? I mean, it's just, the state is gonna be raking in a lot of money.
So we'll be dealing with that new thing as well.
That's a couple legislators about is to put this off for a year or two, because you can't get employees now. And unfortunately, Mike, I've been wondering why you've been sitting in that other seat so long. It's like, he in fact could be doing other things then, rather than, because he's already learned the route. It's like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he doesn't need to be sitting in the extra seat 6 hours a day then. Mike, I think that would be a better use of his time. Rather than truck.
He's B class, isn't he, in that truck?
But even if you've got a C and want to go to a B, you gotta go to 40 hours of training. And if you don't have a CDL, you have to go to 40 hours of training.
Very well. So,
Well, part of the problem is that the only places that offer the training are driving schools, and they've managed to wrap the whole thing kind of like wrap it so closely together that the only real way to do it in Alaska is to pay for both driver training and get their permit. They go to this training where they get some hands-on driver training and do additional training. And schools are not separating the two very well, or at least not locally. they're not. And so we end up sending someone paying for the full 40-hour course, plus whatever hours this new training takes up as well.
Recreation.
I submitted a report, but a lot has happened since then. We're going to have a bazaar on May 29th. We've got elementary basketball that started yesterday. It goes for 3 weeks. And we're going to be doing a cleanup, and the blessing of the fleet will be on Memorial Day. And I think that's enough. And then I get some help here soon too. That'll be good. So that's it. Any questions?
May 20, is it on, the bazaar's on this Sunday?
It is.
Okay, and then, are we doing the Easter thing?
I've not heard from the 4th of July committee
Oh, there
yet.
it is, out there.
They said that they were, but they have not. I've asked them, and I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
I'll announce it on the radio. Jose has a hurt foot, so I have to go to volleyball now. Any other questions? I don't know if I can do volleyball without Jose, but I'll go try. All right, thanks.
Parks and public facility, Doug is gone.
Actually, excuse, you getting through the grid staff report, you have to try and answer that question.
Question for Doug on this field. Cameras going in.
Yeah. That's good. Those are just doing camera work.
Did the movie crew show up or is that one? Full protection plan is gonna film down there, the Halibut landing.
Our policy in the city for film requests is we don't issue film permits. So we tell production companies that they're responsible for arranging any film on private property. They're above the film on public property. So very often they ask. Send them a reply.
We've had 3 requests this year.
Yeah, quite a few.
We're getting popular.
Look at us.
Yay. Nobody left there. Moving on, reading the correspondence. Like we see in the we'll address that one.
I'm not sure, but it's pretty straightforward. The assessors came in March and did their field work like they do every year. And they found that generally their sales to assessment ratios shows that most of our sales are below assessed values. And their practice to consider some assessment increase. So this year they put a 5% increase across the board for residential. So that'll be reflected in the tax this year. Just a reminder that the council, the actual valuations are left up to the assessor independently, and the city really doesn't have any influence over what the assessors value the property at. The place that the council has an option to change that value if it wants to is there will be a resolution coming before the council to set the mill rates. Council does have full authority to decrease or increase the mill rates, which affects what the tax values are. The assessor's information. Such individual appeals, there's no way for us to change the assessor's valuations. I don't always understand the assessment process. Trying to answer questions.
I always read through it and hit to spin. So
Yeah.
it's like,
At some point it wanders off from science. That's where I always, or science to art. I mean, that's where I always get lost.
Look at something I stopped paying attention. I got it back to the.
They do good work. I trust their work and taking the time to boil it all down and understand it. I always have to do.
it usually, if he comes here, it's kind of easier in person sometimes not.
So I'm going to try and answer any questions about the assessment report, but that's short.
Seeing none, we'll move on to Mr. Steve Silver status report. Questions on that one? Positive.
Learning is learning.
Any questions on that? No? Okay, moving on. Consideration of resolutions, ordinances, resolution 22-09, amending the employee handbook.
Move to approve resolution 2209.
Motion been made and seconded to approve resolution 22-09. Amending the employee handbook.
Part of our recruitment efforts for both employees and volunteers. It's one that's been talked about in the city for a number of years. It's never brought forward with council. It's a low or no cost. In fact, a good pass to the employee. They go to the pool, they hope they turn their family. So
Yeah.
it may actually be a revenue generator, but more importantly, it's a low cost or no cost benefit that we provide to employees and volunteers. It's a good recruitment. So,
You can help receive the ratio.
Yeah.
yeah, and we we will be pursuing that with our, we do get discounts for various things through our insurance company. Right now, usually the city clerk who does it, so that responsibility is lying foul a little bit. That'll be one of the things that I have to clerk work on this year. Trying to figure out if there's addition, if there's some savings or insurance costs. So I'd be happy to
That's why I
answer,
want you to look into that.
Oh.
I'd be happy to answer any questions. I do recommend passing that. It's a good deal.
Do a roll call vote.
Alice Spooner, yes. Julie McDonald,
Yes.
Chanel McKinley.
Yes.
Jim C.
Yes.
And Cox.
That was it. Vote.
That's why your name's
We
not there.
used to let him go.
The first error. I'll talk to her later.
Resolution 22-10, appoint the vice mayor. Yes.
Oh, yeah, second, sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I zoned out while I was trying to think. I'm sorry, we're on the discussion. I thought we appointed you last year.
Actually, well, I remember getting it the first time he got to be mayor, when Mike left, because that was the same election Mike left on, right? Anyway, but it's irrelevant what this all said, but we talked about who, I brought it up at the last meeting, that we needed to have it just in case he was gone, because there've been a couple of times when we had important stuff that needed to be signed. And the last time that happened was clear back when Don Pierce was the vice mayor, that I can recall, because I think he was the vice mayor for Millie. And she was out of town, we had something that had to be signed, and in order to be able to make that legal, you have to have a legal appointed vice mayor.
Apologize for this
I don't know.
resolution.
You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the person that leads the meeting, not the vice mayor. What's the other thing called? We lead the meeting, he's not here, the what?
Pro Tem.
I don't know. We may do something else in case he wasn't here.
Sure.
Right, well, yeah, I volunteered.
Yeah, we've asked Jim to meeting several times.
It's just a chair of the meetings.
The code does have, have a call for the council to appoint a vice mayor. Left it blank, so I'll leave it to the council to talk about or volunteer somebody that that's there. The way the code reads, is the vice mayor should be reappointed every election. So each year, the vice mayor should be reappointed on Monday following the election.
When they follow the mayor's election.
Oh, okay. And that's,
Maybe not.
I think it's all the council, because you don't know if it's gonna be the same council.
Right.
Oh, it is every year.
Oh, yeah.
And it does say may, it's not a mandatory.
Right.
It still isn't. It's not mandatory. It's something. I just think that sometimes it could end up being a good idea.
We gain current council members. Can't hurry out to get the job.
Nominate somebody's not here.
Usually the one that's not here gets it.
Next month, meetings, this is what happens.
We can do it. We can make Mike Cantley do it. Or Chanel,
Yeah, she's on her phone.
huh?
She's on her phone.
Huh?
I'll take whatever direction the council wants.
Okay, what do you guys want to do? Technically, we'll appoint Mr. C then.
So I've asked for.
I move to appoint Jim C. as vice mayor effective immediately and to be in effect until October 10th, 2022.
Discussion on that?
Is there a second for that?
Second. Sorry.
So we'll vote on the amendment first, add Jim's name in, and then go back to the vote on
Okay, you want to still do a roll call vote on the
it.
amendment?
Yes.
Roll call vote for the amendment.
Yes.
Julie McDonald,
Yes.
Chanel McKinley,
Sorry, before I say yes, what was the amendment?
To appoint Jim C. as the vice mayor until the Monday after the next election.
Because that's when his seat is up.
No, but the municipal code suggests that you redo this appointment every year after the municipal election is complete.
Okay, all right, yes.
Jim C.
Yes.
Motion carried.
So,
What's the amendment?
back
Oh,
to
that's
the-
the amendment.
Back to the original motion.
Back to the original motion.
Millie Schoonover,
Yes.
Julie McDonald,
Yes.
Chanel McKinley,
Yes,
Jim C.
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on. No unfinished business, so we'll move on to the new business, the Spruce Street water tank salvage.
It's good to me.
Be looking for a motion.
To direct staff to advertise with the owners to salvage the wood water tank located at Spruce Street.
It's been made and seconded to approve the removal of the salvage tank up there, put it up to bid.
We'll make one other comment on that before the council votes on it. Russell and I talked about this project this morning, and he commented to me that the Spruce Street tank is still in a lot of the DEC documentation. So there may be some requirement by DEC to do some additional work isolating the lines, and capping them off and stuff before we can do this. But he's working through that process, so I'll hold actually advertising any for proposals until after. Confirms that.
But we already have the walls closed.
The valves are closed, but Russell suspects that DEC may require that we break the physical connection and cap the lines and do more than just closing the valves. They are closed.
The other thing is, on this removal portion, you better specify just the wood portion of the tank, not the concrete base.
It's,
I'll double check.
That would be really.
Yeah, I thought that I had kind of included that in the proposal, because I don't expect.
it says you
anyone
don't
to-
have to, or you don't want to do it, but it's already about the stem wall and the base.
I'll double check through it and make sure that language. is included. I think it is.
Council comments.
Voice vote is sufficient.
Okay, we'll call for a voice vote then. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Approved. Council comments? I think he's tired of talking. I could tell.
I'm not a council member, but. Go ahead. So that's Kennedy, just jump into the, helping the city clerk job, getting back to the, any mistakes made, getting stuff out is on me. I've heard she's doing a great job at it, so I appreciate the help. And I also want to express, especially the budget committee members, Sherry, the budget process. It's been dreaded going into it, but it's actually the budget committee's been a pleasure to work with. It's likely that our meeting last Tuesday. Just the last budget committee meeting. And as I did some comments from the budget committee, so come back and talk about some issue and bringing the budget to council. for future meeting. So, that all ends up will be about a month ahead of schedule. So we still have time to do the budget committee council with that.
The one comment I would have is when I ran through it again and I looked at some of my old budgets, we used to charge Clawag based on one full-time position. We've increased the wages and we haven't increased that. So if we can, I think we should ask Clawag for another $5,000 or something instead of the 55, jumping into the 60 or whatever. Look through and see. It's been a long time that it's been sitting at $55,000, a long time.
What are we talking about?
Clawag pays us to dispatch for them.
Oh, the dispatch. Okay,
And,
now we
and we only, they get a pretty good deal if you look at how many calls that this dispatch center.
yeah, come on.
We only charge them for one dispatcher. And at this point, we're not close to covering the cost of the average dispatcher.
So, I mean, it also, allows them access to like the data master, and then the live scan, all the other fancy stuff that we have. And
Yeah,
they've been getting a screaming deal for the past 5-10 years, in my opinion.
yeah.
I'm not opposed to that, but I would encourage you to include a letter. And I'm sure you will, right, some type of explanation, so just a higher bill.
No,
And I'm in the middle of negotiations. We're still operating without a signed agreement for the current year.
for the town.
And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
well, in
And our
both of
garbage
those.
rates are gonna go up.
And so I've been working with Anna Guthrie with City of Walk, and I'm happy in our discussions, change the rate for the police department contract. That's exactly right. They raised dump fees for the public by 2 cents a pound. It's recent, it was last year.
When was the last time this was renewed?
It's generally done annually. But for a number of reasons, this year's is not done yet.
The rate increase was when? Do you remember?
Well, even the agreement itself, but I think they're still paying. So it's
They
not
are,
like, it's
yes.
the honor system. We're just kind of going off the old one from the previous year, but
Yes.
between me and John, and then before him leaving, and then Brian coming in, and Anna also getting appointed over there. Pen to paper just hasn't been done, but
Their call volume's up, if you look at their EMS, for sure, with the medvacs and everything, so.
I'll work with RJ. But I don't have a problem going to Anna. I think it's well justified to raise the dispatch.
Well, and I think it was somewhere between 4 and 6 years ago, we actually absorbed 2 additional things and didn't even charge them a dime for it. Because we used to be, it was just strictly police.
Yeah.
So the on-duty officer over in Clawag, if it was a medical call, they would page out EMS. If it was a fire, they would page out EMS. With the new equipment and stuff that Mark Khabib had gotten in, and then when I got the MCC 5500 through that grant, it made it really easy. And so now we do police, fire, and EMS for Clawag at the same price that it used to be before.
That's my point.
So I'll go with RJ. There's a number of
We
justifications.
should be able to take care of that 11 or $12,000 shortfall right there.
And again, well, it'll probably be a wash when Clawag raised the rates. They agreed to keep us at 11 cents. But I expect by the time we finish negotiating the landfill agreement, will be up from 11 cents, which is probably, I hope it'll be a wash in the actual expenses. Bringing in more than police contract. And the landfill contract.
We have more EMS calls, fire calls, than we have police calls, probably. Pretty close.
Right?
Yeah, because I mean, they've been running with either 1 or 2 officers. Now granted, I mean, every time they do a traffic stop, that tries up, you have to do certain vehicle checks, license checks, things of that nature.
It may be a top, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I think they are getting,
They're getting
I'll work with RJ. In the next month or so, and I'll revise those. That agreement has been sitting on Annie's desk for a while, so it's time to follow up with her. Happy to follow up with you.
Did you want to mention our flags or anything?
Oh, yeah.
We did have
thank you.
that here.
I'm sorry, they are. So we had a copy, as you guys know, we recently had proclamation from the legislature honoring the city's 100th anniversary and another for Fred Hamilton Senior honoring his 101st birthday. The mayor and I had opportunity to go and visit with Fred yesterday morning. Always telling stories. Great time visiting with Fred and Junior. And got some pictures of him. We took one of these framed copies of the proclamation for Fred over to present to Fred. We have one more that we're to the CTA council that they can display or do whatever they want with. So our legislative staff really did a great job hustling to get these things going.
Trinity negotiated that deal. On the brain.
I picked memories here.
Yeah, see,
Judah found her class.
so these are great. We'll find somewhere here at City Hall, a good spot at City Hall, maybe council chambers here. So Jesus flags up and it's like proud of them. Great, ever it goes.
Jim could say the magic word with all.
You have one job. Second.
Motion's been made to adjourn, all in favor.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, Chanel.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You do.